Okay, so we're going to be streaming either way, even though the moderators can't really join in, and we're going to step in as So hello everybody and welcome at the Q&A for Marlon's and Max's and Michel's films. I'll in a minute just give the word to our moderators and let everybody to kind of present themselves. So Chris Ross, go ahead. Hello.
Hi, so my name's Chris, and this is my friend Kaya.
Hello.
And so we watched all of the films together, and we really, really enjoyed them. And so we wanted to ask you guys some questions about like sort of your guys' experiences of making the movies and everything. And so the first one that we watched was the first one we watched was Drowners. And so we wanted to give you the sort of opportunity to sort of introduce yourself and like what your movie's about.
Hello to everyone. So I'm the producer, cinematographer, and editor of the movie. My name is Boyan Dragomirov, and I'm old friend of Mishel, who is the director and also the producer of the movie and the screenwriter. So what can I say about me? I started doing photography like 10 years ago, and after this, I found filmmaking is my passion. So I started doing short movies for my YouTube channel, and 2 years ago, me and Michelle decided to work on her script and to start working on the drawers, actually.
Hi, my name is Mishel. I'm the director and the scriptwriter of the short movie Drowners. And I started to work on the script before 2 years ago. And now I'm studying in the National Academy of Film and Theater Arts. And I'm studying drama and script writing.
Wow, that's a really interesting. It's really nice to hear about you guys. So our first question is, what was the inspiration behind, the short film Drowners? Like, what inspired you to write it?
Mm-hmm.
The inspiration about Drowners was the love around us, and it was really difficult because when you see a love and you hear that somebody's love is forever, you actually you won't be forever, and I wanted in the script to to be a love that can remain forever, and no matter that there is death and there is so many difficulties, there is love, and that's the most important thing in the script.
That's really nice. That's really beautiful. We wanted just in case you wanted to tell everyone what your movie's about, like the basic sort of concept of it, just in case someone doesn't know, because we know, but it was a really nice movie, by the way. We wanted to let you guys know we really liked it.
Well, the movie is about two young people that are in love, and the one dies, but their love remains, and their loves remain forever because the love is stronger than everything, even than the death.
That's really nice. Oh, yeah. Another one of our questions was, what was like the process of making the movie? Because we've never made movies. We have like, so what was like? How was that? Like, what does that look like? At least making this kind of movie.
Mishel, can I talk about this thing?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So after I read the script with Mishel, we started breaking down to every single detail that we need to prepare. Then we started a fundraiser campaign because we had no budget. We also started looking for people, mostly our friends, to help us for the filmmaking process, because there are not that much filmmakers in our hometown. We did location scouting. We discussed about the colors that we are gonna use, like in the pre-production, in the post-production also. The weather, the atmospheres that we want to show in each scene. We started looking for actors that were also our friends in the end. We did some repetition days, and at the end we started filmmaking. We shot the movie for 3 days, like 3 full days and 1 extra, which was amazing for us, but we needed to save time. So we shot from sunrise to sunset. And in the post-production, we edited, like me and Mishel, we edited the movie for 2 months, but that was mostly because we had school and we had exams. So yeah, and at the end we finished with a big premiere with over 2,000 people watching it. And we also, because our budget like left a little bit, so we did also a charity campaign for one person in our hometown. So we invested our money in making t-shirts and books of the movie, and we sold them. So we doubled our budget, and we made this. That's it.
That's amazing. It's really cool to hear about this process, especially since we don't really know much about this stuff. So our next question is that there is a lot of blue, we noticed. Is that used to like symbolize something, or is it just a coincidence?
The color blue is associated with the water, and especially with the water, and it is also the color of the calmness. And actually, our script is something opposite of the calmness, and it's not a mistake using the blue color, because it's a symbol of the water, of the calmness, of the passion between the boy and the girl in the movie. That's it.
Yeah, we might have been over analyzing it, but we like were looking at like the colors used in the movie, and it was like, it's like really amazing. We were like looking at it, and in the beginning scene, it's all like the cool colors, and then the first time that they say "I love you" to each other, they're wearing red.
Yes.
And then the first time that they say she says like "I hate you" at one point, I think, to him.
Yes.
She's wearing red again, and she has like this red ribbon in her hair the entire movie. And so, was that intentional, or did we like read way too into it?
The red ribbon is actually it is the girl. It's her, and the red is the color of the hate, of the love, of the patient, and those three are a part of the girl personality. Yes, the girl's personality. So we had a special color palette for our movie. We made it with the designer of the movie, and yes.
Which is also our friend who have never studied that before.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the whole crew was just beginners and enthusiasts. Everything is done just with enthusiasm, and we've never studied that before. So yeah, I'm really proud with the final product that we did.
We're really proud of you guys as well. In case no one's told you yet, which I'm sure they have.
Yes.
Could I just step in if I could, Chris? I would just really like to ask if there's something you guys didn't anticipate before making the movie, and you, for just in case, probably somebody saw your movie and wanted to kind of follow in your path. Would there be some kind of an advice that you would give them as you know, working with people who had never made any films before, or is there something that really struck you that wasn't really you know, expected, that you learned throughout the process, and is there something even?
I think the biggest like problem is always the strong organization that you need to work with many people. Yeah, and even if they are professionals, I think you need to be very strict about timetables, about timing your work, about the discipline when you're shooting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was the hardest thing for us.
And it is also important when you work with friends to make difference between friends and colleagues, because it's really important to everybody to know his place. This is the first thing in the organization.
Yeah. Plus,
sorry. We try to take the best of our friend like in the group. So yeah, we involved like painters, digital artists who are just doing this as a hobby, but we try to take the best of them and just help us to make this movie. And even the music is composed from our friend who is just he's like self-learned to play the piano. He never studied that. Yeah, so
so kind of induce the enthusiasm in other people, I'd say. It seems like
yeah, and try to motivate them like as many as you can, as much as you can.
Yeah, because the whole movie seemed like everybody, or even like the actors, were, you know, on your path and wanted to do the stuff you wanted. Is there something you said it was inspired by, you know, wanting to work around the theme of love and the eternal love? All of the movies that are here today felt very, very personal, and the whole concept of you know, it felt like all of you had a lot of to say. Is there something that you wanted to say that didn't make it to the movie, or is the movie how you really wanted it? Is there perhaps some hidden motive that you wanted to kind of show to the other people, or kind of talk about in the movie? sorry, that's a really long and hard question. Yeah, but also I was just kind of wondering if it felt very heartfelt, and if it probably had something to do with the times that you made the movie during the quarantine, like the need for the lovely people around you or something like that. Sorry to even extend the question, but yeah.
So what was the second part of the question?
Perhaps if the movie's theme had to do anything with the time of the COVID era and the need to have the people around you to feel like.
Yeah. I don't feel that I can answer like absolutely that question, but I think Michel's script was like older. She wrote it like 1 or 2 years before I saw it. Yeah, so it's not connected to this. I think we're pretty pleased with like the movie and the things that it's saying. We tried our best, so yeah. I don't think, Michelle, if you have something to add.
No, that's actually true. Yes.
Yeah, it looks very heartfelt though, and it's very nice. Yeah, so I'm just gonna, Chris, sorry for barging in.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's the type of movies that we love, to be emotional and personal. So yeah, that's the thing that we try to do.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry for barging in. If you have anything, I'm just gonna play silent right now.
No, it's totally okay. That kind of leads into one of our next questions, which is, what are your guys' like plans for the future? What's sort of next for the two of you?
I'm currently studying in the UK, but I plan to settle here for a little bit just to have like more work experience and like experience in the filmmaking industry. But I plan to go to Bulgaria at any time and yeah, work there and probably live there.
I want to improve my knowledge in the art sphere, and I want to write more scripts. Actually, now I'm preparing documentary movies, something like a YouTube channel with the documentary movies, and that's what I'm working for right now.
That's really lovely. We hope that everything goes well for you guys. It's truly like Drowners was a really nice movie. Like we were watching it, and we were like tearing up. We were like, this was not what we were expecting at all. But it was really nice to watch your movie. We really, really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for selecting it and give us this opportunity to talk about it and to share it with you.
And thank you for feeling the emotions, Drowners. And sorry for my English, it's really bad, but
it's not bad at all. Don't be sorry. It's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so if nobody has any other questions, I think that there's a little bit of a link during, like, given the love theme and the friendship theme and the relationship theme to Marlon's film in a way, because there's a very special bond with an octopus. If anybody hasn't seen, there's an octopus, and so I'll kind of shout out to Marlon for making such a specific film. Could you tell us more about how you made the film itself, Marlon?
So when I was shooting it, I didn't actually intend on making a movie, but I was just having fun doing what I love, and I thought it was cool, so I videoed it. And then a few months after it, I looked back at all the footage and went, "Oh, actually, this is quite good." So then I decided to just to make a film about it, because well, everyone was really feeling it in the lockdown. Everyone felt pretty lonely.
Yeah.
I was very lucky to have that experience.
Yeah, it looks like a very, very specific and very lucky experience to have. Plus, the whole time I was watching it, I was personally wondering, how did you get that footage, or what did you really shoot it on? Was
Yeah,
it like?
so
sorry, I'm sorry.
yeah, all the underwater shots. All the underwater shots were filmed on a GoPro, and everything else was just a phone.
Okay. Well, it
Yeah.
looks very, very cool, and yeah. Oh God.
Thank you. Yeah.
Shout out. Plus, the whole time I was watching it, I was wondering, how much time did you actually spend with the octopus?
It was a total of 5 months.
Really?
5 months with the octopus,
Okay.
and hundreds and hundreds of hours of footage.
Oh God. Plus, if anybody, are you into making films from now on? Are you? Because
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I loved it. It's this was my first film, for anyone who didn't know, and I didn't intend on making a big thing about it. It was just a school project. But yeah, I'm real keen on keeping on filmmaking, making documentaries, because I really enjoyed it, and I get to spend time with animals whilst doing it. So yeah.
You have one in front of you.
Yes.
Plus, that's something that we kind of that we talked about with the other filmmakers on other Q&As, is that it's the most important to have something you love and shoot the things you actually have a relationship to. So shout out to this. And in other now I forgot my question. So Chris, if you could step in. Sorry. Sorry. Thank you. Do you have any?
Yeah, so we do have a few questions. You had a lot of good questions, so thank you for starting us off. This one might not be completely related to the film, but I did want to ask, because I was curious if the octopus did ever manage to actually like take something from you, because I do recall you having a tug of war in the movie, and I thought that was really cute.
Yeah, that octopus was particularly interested in taking random things that I had. Some of those things, well, he didn't get my GoPro, luckily, but he'd love to try and steal that. He took my snorkel, as you know, a couple sticks that I used to push weeds out the way so I could get a good shot. A phone. We did get it back, but he did take it. It was okay. And just stuff like fingers. Loved to grab onto your hand. He was very friendly, but yeah, you had to watch your personal belongings.
That's amazing. Oh wow.
Kind of another weird question. Did the octopus have a name? This was like very important to us.
So the octopus has a very creative name. I called him Mr. Octopus.
Not doctor, but Mr. Okay. Dr. Octopus
Not
would
the
have
doctor, no.
Sorry.
Yeah. So his name was Mr. Octopus. There was another one that I called Mr. Big because it was huge. But yeah.
I love that. I think that's perfect name for him. What was filming all of that and editing that like? Like you said, it took a really long time to do. And what was like the actual process of filming like?
So basically the daily routine was wake up, be ready for the school roll call thing at 9 for online school, then do a few lessons. Then at recesses and lunch, I'd head down to the rock pools, film for as long as I could, then come home and do school. And then after all of that footage that I gathered, then I did the editing, and the editing probably took about as long as the 5 months. I'd say it was a very long process, simply because I like to procrastinate. But I really enjoyed it, even though it was quite long, but it was worthwhile. And it was a really good learning experience for me too, because I hadn't really used computers before that, so I was all new and learning fun things.
That's actually yeah, it seems like a very healthy way to go about the quarantine times, because I think that some of us were just, you know, at the computer without having an octopus to go to. Yeah, so so shout out. And yeah, it felt like I kind of missed my opportunity at doing stuff during the quarantine. And I was actually wondering if you had you when you said that there was hours and hours of editing, or hours and hours of things that you need to go through the footage. It seems like the biggest process for you was, like, you know, the found footage editing. And if there's something, if somebody wanted to mimic or your way of working, if somebody wanted to make a similar movie and you know, perhaps make some documentaries about animals, what would be the process, and what would your advice for the people be? If it's more technical, or if it's the relationship with the animals itself more.
Well, I'd say 100% it'd be your relationship with the animal that you're shooting. And another one's gone. And also to be genuine, because a lot of the really good feedback that I've had from a lot of really good people at other film festivals is, oh, we love your movie because it's so genuine. And that's and that was because I was just filming me having fun. I wasn't filming to make a movie. Yeah. So I didn't have a pre-designated like a plan or anything. I just didn't go, oh, I need this shot and this shot and this shot. I just did it and then picked out the best bits. But it's probably not the best way to go about it if you actually have a plan.
Yeah, I think, but that's actually a advice that everybody kind of probably should follow, because then it feels like a chore and you produce something that you actually didn't want. And this felt like this felt like a treat, yeah, to watch.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, actually. Chris, do you have any other questions to the?
We wanted to ask what your plans for the future were, sort of as like when it comes to filmmaking. I think you might have touched on it kind of maybe a little bit, but like, do you plan how we asked or someone asked earlier whether you like saw this as more than just like a little one-time thing? So if there was something in the future that you were thinking of.
Yeah, as I said before, I'm 100% interested in following this path of filmmaking and making animal documentaries specifically. And I have gotten some work with a filmmaker who has done work with Nat Geo and Netflix, and this is going. And I've been doing some set building with her for studio shots for animals, which is really cool. And I'm currently volunteering at a zoo in my area, so I can get more experience in that field. And I really, really want to make more movies. It's very fun, and I want to keep doing it.
That's shout out and applauding. Plus, at the same time, is there some kind of an animal? This question has been sitting in my head for quite some time, and I just reminded myself to ask it. Sorry for barging at the very end, but is there some kind of an animal that you wanted to shoot a movie about or with, like a very specific, species that you wanted to kind of bond with?
Well, since I was very young, I've always really been fascinated and always just loved chameleons. And I haven't actually met one properly yet. I've seen them in zoos and stuff, but that's not real. So I'd love to, go to Madagascar and shoot them. And I think that would be a really fun thing to do. It's like a little goal, but it wouldn't just be chameleons, because there's just so many animals and they're all really interesting and equally unique and all got amazing abilities. And like I love all of the cephalopods, which is like the octopus family. They got squids, cuttlefish, all kinds of other stuff like the nautilus. That's the one. They're all really interesting. I love fish. Well, just about anything that lives and breathes. Yeah.
Those, it sounds, that there could be a lot of those. There could be a lot of documentaries. So fingers crossed, and that you get the path that you want, because it seems like a very good one. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we kind of mentioned some aspects that I wanted to ask even Max, because I'm still kind of circling back to the theme of the quarantine and the COVID era, because it felt like it affected even Max's work, isn't it? In a way. I know that we've kind of covered this topic in before, but is there something that the quarantine has, the impact of the quarantine had on your film? Is there something that that people can find in your movie Oubliette?
I mean, I suppose a lot of stuff was sort of canceled and stuff due to COVID, so it gave me a lot of extra free time. So I was able to watch a lot of movies and stuff like that, which was definitely good for inspiration. But I mean, I don't know if there's any conscious links to quarantine in my film. There could be. You could, you could look into that.
Sorry for asking this particular question again, because I was just very curious, or just I probably had the underlying feeling for me itself that Oubliette kind of depicted how I felt during the quarantine. It felt very isolated and very much like some of the films that we received this year were circling back to this theme. And I was just thinking, what was, if it wasn't the quarantine, what for you was the theme of the movie, and why you decided to shoot this one?
I mean, I suppose it all sort of, like, the very basis of the idea came from me wanting to set something in some sort of spooky black and white city. And then I was just sort of thinking about cool ideas that could take place in the setting, like sort of looking like some of the American cities like New York and stuff, but maybe a little different. And then I watched a movie called Jacob's Ladder, which is sort of about like this guy gets clued in on this sort of government conspiracy about him, and so he sort of figures out he's getting followed and stuff. And I just really like that that sort of idea of like you're being surveilled and you don't know it. So then I sort of that's where the idea came from, I guess. And I suppose a lot of it was just sort of, I guess, world building and stuff, like creating the contraptions and stuff that flesh out the world.
It seems very the world is very, very important there, isn't it? Plus that's another thing that I wanted to ask you before I hand the baton back to Chris. I was wondering if you were working more in the more intuitive sense, or did you plan the things ahead? Because sometimes we asked some of the animators who had as much as you had such you have such stunning animations, and I think that yours have to be kind of pre-planned. And sometimes some of the animators told us that they do not really like writing scripts, and that they kind of worked intuitively, that they drew something and went from that. What was your process with that? Because your animations hands down are very, 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 very well very
thank
well
you.
out there. Yeah, I wanted to cuss, but I kind of stopped myself. Sorry. Yeah, they're very, very
Yeah, I suppose I started with the environments. So like I planned out very roughly what the scenes were going to be and how they're going to play and stuff, just so that I wasn't, making a movie as I went.
Mhm.
So I sort of knew like the overall sort of story and what I wanted to happen. And then I just started building the environments. So I, like I drew blueprints for like the train station and the apartments and stuff.
Mhm.
And, all the other environments featured in it. And after that was done and I had them built out in 3D, I could sort of take a virtual camera and move through these environments and
Yeah.
sort of plan out like, oh, it looks really cool looking down the stairs, this sort of
Mhm.
spiral staircase. And so that's sort of a process that I quite like because it's similar to taking a real camera and, figuring out from your location, like it, the environment wasn't built around the shots. It was sort of the
Mhm.
shots came about as a result of the environment, I guess.
Yeah. Because it feels very very well thought out, the atmosphere of the movie, that it comes first.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
And, yeah. So heads off. And Chris, do you have additions to that? Sorry.
It's okay. What do you mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. With the animations and all that, I found it absolutely amazing. I've always really admired like all that and stuff. And so I wanted to ask, what was the meaning behind the name of your film, the Oubliette? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah. So the Oubliette is like a sort of a medieval dungeon type thing that's like a hole you'd basically stick someone in and forget about them. I think it's French. In French, oubli means forget, so it's like the forgetting hole. But so I guess sort of one of the underlying sort of tone of the movie is that it's this guy who is, he's like moving to a new city, but then at the end he sort of returns to his old country home, even just sort of mentally, I guess. But so that was the oubliette, I guess, is his sort of past he's forgotten about. I'm not sure. I mean, it's open to interpretation, definitely.
Can I just barge in once again? Sorry, just to kind of follow on that. It feels like, honestly, it felt like I was experiencing a dream, because I have very similar dreams in the sense that you kind of pop out somewhere and pop out in different areas. Is this something that you were inspired by too? That you, not examined your dreams, but wanted to follow the perhaps like a dreamy atmosphere that you have in your dreams?
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole movie's a little surreal with the sort of
it is,
odd text and stuff like that, and the weird environments. But I really wanted that ending scene to feel very much like it's not actually physically happening. So like when he's sort of walking down this super dark flight of stairs underground, and actually when he does that, the screen gets wider up at the top, and he comes out, and it's sort of supposed to feel a little bit impossible, because you see him like going underground, and then all of a sudden he's above ground in a totally different place.
Yeah.
And I think it's not really music, but the sort of ambient sound changes as well to sort of a more serene one, rather than the just sort of harsh sounds of the city.
Yeah. Thank you for that. It felt very dreamy, and very familiar in some sense, and scary at the same time. Thank
you. So, okay. The way that the characters are drawn, I'm guessing we thought you drew the characters, right?
Yes.
So we wanted to ask, the sort of process of doing that, and the way that the characters are all sort of drawn in the same kind of way? Is that to represent something? And the only person who's not drawn exactly the same is the like sort of kidnapper who like breaks into his house, I'm guessing. Not kidnap. Stop. The thief. Yes, that is the word I meant to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's drawn in gray and everyone else is drawn in white. So is there?
Yeah, well done on picking up on that. I don't think I even really consciously.
We overanalyzed all three of these movies. It was.
Yeah, I mean, the process was like once I had the environments laid out and the shots, there's sort of a 3D animation technique called rigging, which is like a sort of a 3D skeleton that you can move through the environment and sort of animate. So I built a skeleton with the same sort of proportions as I wanted my guy to have, and I could, so it's just sort of lines, like just a stick man, but then that was super useful for animating in the 3D environment because, he could get closer and further away with the perspective staying the same. He could like interact, like open doors and stuff like that. And then once that was done, I just took each frame and sort of drew around the skeleton to create him and like, his sort of suit and his big bald head. So.
Yeah, that sounds like a really tedious process, but you do sound like you really know your stuff. So I wanted to ask, how long have you been animating for?
I suppose, I think my first sort of proper animated short film came out in 2018. No, actually, I did one before that in 2017. So I guess 6 years.
You put us all to shame in a very nice way.
I mean, it didn't get good for a while, and it's
Well, the one we saw was very, very good.
Yeah.
We did have a question. At one point at the beginning, it looks like they're sort of checking his limbs when he gets. Is that like a safety precaution to make sure he got there in one piece, or what was like the meaning behind that?
Yeah, I suppose like it's sort of just a sequence showing that he's entering a new place, and I guess it's sort of like part visual gag, I suppose, because it's just sort of a funny thought to have like a little checkbox for each of the limbs, and also like to show that like he's not really traveling in luxury. Like it's probably not a very safe way to travel if they're like making sure no one's lost limbs on the other side, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Right. I did enjoy that part. I thought it was quite funny. I did giggle a little. I wanted to ask what your plans for the future are, if you're going to continue with animating and if you have any goals.
I suppose, well, I think I am going to continue with animation, but I also would like to do some live action stuff because I have been sort of exclusively doing animated stuff for the past many years, and I'd like to sort of widen my horizons, I guess. I just finished another animated short that's stop motion, which was sort of new for me. So I built little like puppets for that, little sort of articulated characters and stuff. So that was pretty fun. But yeah, I suppose I do want to go into the industry once I'm finished school and hopefully get a job.
And with the live action, would that be like directing, or would you even want to like act in those kind of things?
Yeah, I think it would be directing. I'm not a huge fan of acting, but
yeah.
I mean, I suppose I came into animation because of the limitations of like I sort of wanted to do ambitious things that I definitely couldn't do in live action as a child with no money, so animation sort of opened those doors, I guess, because I could, do whatever, and it doesn't, there's no organizational hassle or whatever, and you don't have to worry about getting actors and stuff. Like it's, in a sense, it's sort of easier to organize the whole thing, I guess, but then it's also just a lot more sort of grunt work of just sitting there for hours and hours and trying to finish the thing.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like this is something that all of you have in common, in the sense that you can dream big, because your movies are very much out there, and you're gonna get there. Because and thank you once again for filing your films in our festival plus. And yada yada. But Chris, do I have any other questions, or does any one of you want to say anything more to your films? Or
I have one question. Please, Chris, and how is your name, lovely girl? Who is this?
It's Kaya, thank you.
How?
Kaya.
Kaya.
Mhm.
Please, could you introduce us? Because when you came, you did not say I'm Chris and Kaya, and I'm from, I don't know, Czech Republic. And what are you doing? Because we approached you as teenage moderators, and we don't know anything about you.
Oh, gosh, wasn't prepared for this part. Oh my gosh. Yes, we're both from the Czech Republic. We study in English, so that's why our English is relatively good.
We hope.
We hope, yeah.
yes, it is.
Thank you. As we said before, we don't really have much experience in the filmmaking industry, but we do both, to some extent, study drama. So we do.
Okay, okay.
Yes, we do have aspirations as actors. So if any of you ever need actors for movies,
we can stand in the back and play trees. We'd be honored if you guys even considered us.
Which school are you doing exactly?
Oh, we go to the English College in Prague.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So please, next time when you will moderate, it's lovely when you come and just say, I'm Chris and Kaya, and we study this school, we are that much old, and we will be moderators for this Q&A. And I also think, Zuzka, that in the beginning,
that goes to me too. Hello everybody. Sorry for my unprofessionalism. Hello, I'm from the program department of the A-FilmTeensFest.
Zuzka,
hello. And I study screenwriting at the FAMU, which is Film Academy of Prague. Prague Academy of oh god, how is it in English? Performing arts. Yeah, that's the college.
Academy.
Yeah. Sorry, I kind of wanted to stay in the back, and that's what we did here. And I think that in relation to these 3 films, it was very easy to feel like we want to stay in the back, because you deserve the shout out and the light. So thank you once again. Does anybody else have anything to say to the movie, or something you wanted to kind of share with the audience that we kind of forgot, or that we kind of...
I have a question to Marlon. Are any other octopuses as this one that you were shooting with?
So
or it was really special octopus who wanted to be shot? Because this is something what makes me really curious.
Yeah, so that particular octopus was very special. I have not met or found another one exactly like that one. Nothing on prices. They're like people. They each have their own personalities, and they may look similar, but they're all completely different. But there has been others, and they're all pretty friendly. But that one was special. Yeah.
Special. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. And for example, did you study before you were shooting? Did you study something about octopuses, how to deal with them, or you just use your feelings and filmmaking in instinct to make this film?
Yeah, pretty much. I did little to no research on what to do with the octopus or anything. I just kind of did what felt right, and it went pretty damn well.
Yeah, it did very well.
Yeah.
It's really one of my most favorite films of the festival. Thank you very much. Thank you.
No problem at all. Thank you.
Yeah, and once again, thank you for coming here today. I for one really enjoyed the talk, and thank you for enlightening for enlightening us on the process. because with each and every one it was very specific. And sorry, something fell down in my background, but you at least can't see it. So if you heard the knock, it actually fell. So I think with that we can probably fall down to, or we can count down and say our goodbyes, isn't it? We
just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to watch the movies. We really enjoyed them. We hope that you all continue with this in the future, because you're all very talented, and it was very nice to meet all of you.
Thank you too, and everybody who is actually currently watching us can follow up on follow and go to our site and watch every single one, not only these 3 but other movies that we have there at A-FilmTeensFest.com. Plus it goes to all of you 3 too. You can watch every single one of them too there, and we really appreciate that you came here today to talk about them. So once again, thank you.
Thank you very much, Max, Marlon, and Bojan, that you came. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
thank you for having us.
This is it.
And Chris too, and
have this recognition.
To our two.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you. And this is a wrap. I think this is a wrap, everybody. So goodbye, everyone, and have a good one. Have a